Hi everyone, Corey here from Tales from a Polk County Girl. And this video, I thought it would be fun to do a plant roll call video and show off my garden. So I'm out here on my pool deck and I'm going to go over the plants that are out here and then take you around to the rest of the property to see all of the edible plants, because we like to grow plants that grow food, and just show these off. This one right here, this one's fairly new. Actually, I'm not used to filming outside on my phone. This is our raspberry plant, and I need to stake this little sucker up because it's fallen over. But I got this from, I think, Home Depot a couple weeks ago and just planted it in a nice big pot. If you can hear the traffic going by, we have a very busy road right behind our house. Okay, and we have my oregano. That's parsley. It actually is very healthy, but I need to water it. So it actually looks a lot better normally than it does right now. But I have 2 pots of Greek oregano. That is Italian parsley. That normally looks a lot better, but it's thirsty. And this is Cuban oregano. Now the difference between Cuban and Greek is Greek oregano looks and smells like the oregano you get in the store. Cuban oregano is more of almost like a succulent, and instead of drying it, you can blend it with olive oil and make a pesto with it that way, like an oregano based pesto. But it still smells really, really good. It still smells like oregano. And we used to have a slide on our pool, and we just took that out and put a hose mechanism in here, so it was a lot easier to water the plants. And over here, this is my mint plant. It's chocolate mint. And I love coming out here and just picking a leaf and sticking it in my mouth. It tastes so good. And it's looking wonderful, actually, even with as hot as it's starting to get. This is goji berry. If you've never heard of goji berry dates back to China, ancient China. And it's supposed to be like the latest superfood. And a friend of mine gave me a cutting of hers, and it's just been growing so well. The thing about goji, if you start growing it, oh, the light's getting bad, sorry, or it just looks bad on my camera, is goji has thorns. So you just gotta be really careful. Yeah, you can see the thorns right there. You just gotta be really careful when you're messing with it, because you will get pricked. And over here is my overly abundant basil plant. I've done several large harvests off this thing, and you really can't tell. So it's wonderful. Please ignore all the weeds. I haven't weeded back here at all. But yeah, nice, lovely basil plants. We had some huge leaves a few weeks ago. The leaves were as big as my hand, and it was insane. So I'm going to pause and go to another part of the property and show you the plants out there. Okay, so here we are in the backyard. This first tree that we're coming to, this is a dwarf lemon tree that I bought because I don't know how to read and thought I was getting a regular size lemon tree, not a dwarf tree or a patio tree. But, I mean, it's looking healthy. It survived the freeze that happened a few weeks ago. I mean, we did wrap it. That is, we believe it was a Valencia orange tree. We cut it down below the graft with the intent of pulling it out. And then it decided that it wanted to try to actually grow, so we let it. Yeah, we've just decided it's got too many suckers and all that, so we're just going to pull it out and put a fresh one in. There are 3 oranges here that, yeah, they're still not ripe or ready to come out. Even though I've got some lovely blooms right here, it's just not really a healthy tree for us to have, so, or it's not a producing tree either, so we're just going to start fresh. Alright, over here, this is another dwarf tree that I bought, again, because I can't read, and it's a tangerine tree, and it's growing a little tangerine, which this thing, it's probably not going to be the best thing ever, so we're just going to let it go. But it has a bloom right there. I actually should have filmed this video like a week ago because this thing was covered in white citrus blooms. And if you can see like the little nubs in some places, it's awesome. So this tree, we wrapped it just like the lemon tree, and we're hoping to get some wonderful tangerines off of it. The last tree I want to show you, and the road I was talking about earlier, it runs back there. This is my peach tree. This peach tree is going on 3 years old now. It looks great. I mean, literally last week it was bare sticks. But I've got all these peach blossoms, and oh, I'm so excited. If you're wondering why it's dug out around, we have a problem with Japanese beetles in Florida. They're an invasive species. Oh my god. I have a peach. That's a peach, people. It's growing. And I have another one. Oh, this is so cool. And there's another one. I need to start counting. Awesome. That is so cool. But anyways, Japanese beetles. They really like peaches, and they come up through the grass. And I'm just gonna try to. There's another one, I think, maybe. Is it gonna focus? No, sorry. But they come up through the grass and climb the trunks, and they eat my peaches. So that's why I've like torn all the grass out from around this tree, is I'm trying to prevent that as much as possible. And I do get the mesh bags that we put over the peaches and everything, but that doesn't always stop those little buggers. So yeah, that's the reason that it looks very barren around the peach trees, because that is intentional. I don't want to lose any more peaches to those Japanese beetles unless I have to. So that peach tree, the peach tree is taller than me, by the way. And it just looks so great. And I'm so happy I got to show you some peaches, some going to be growing peaches. And all the peach blossoms. This is so cool. Alright, well, I'm going to pause again and go out to my pineapple container garden. So I'll be right back. So this is my pineapple container garden. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 pineapples growing. And in order, if we start here, they go from oldest all the way down, back up to here, to youngest or newest. And yes, those are 5-gallon paint buckets. And those are recycling bins. These first two, they are the 2 oldest. And I have gotten pineapples off them. I will show you the 2nd generation plants that are growing out of them in just a second. So, because they've already fruited, they've started growing up fresh stalks. This one has 3. That one has 2. This is my 3rd oldest. And it has a pineapple growing out of it already. So that's pretty cool. About June or July, that will be ready for picking. The rest of these, starting with this one, all of these are less than a year old. So, and They just grow and they're lovely. They like, pineapples are okay in containers. You don't have to put them in the ground. They really do prefer, if you're going to put them in a container, to be in a 3 to 7 gallon container. So a 5-gallon paint bucket works beautifully. It's the next one. Okay, the interesting thing about these two, if you notice, I think it's on this one. Okay, you see that little, like, new plant that's coming up? What I ended up doing was, these two were actually little starter plants like that was over there that I just plucked out and stuck them in buckets. And they are starting to grow their own plants. Isn't that neat? Now these next two, this one and this one, these are the 2nd generation pineapples. This one came from that plant, and this one came from that one. And they're growing pretty well. The nice thing about the pineapples, especially them being in containers, I actually don't have to water them religiously. I can go about every other day with watering them, and they're fine, but I do need to water them today. Today is a watering day. Sorry. And this little one, this is my newest one. My in-laws actually got a pineapple from the store and saved me the top, and I just stuck it in a pot. That one did have another topper in it, but I waited too long to get it in the dirt, and so it actually just, it died. So that one is awaiting fresh pineapple topper. And when I say a pineapple topper, I really do mean, you know, if you think about a pineapple, you know, you got the big, you know, that part that's on the top. And then if you cut down about an inch from that into the flesh, you know, just scalp it, that is what I put in the dirt, and I bury, you know, the fleshy part, and it starts to root and grow its own pineapple. Yeah, this one is less than 2 weeks old. I planted it probably, I want to say Tuesday. No, I've had it at least a week. So sometime last week I planted it. So, and they do very well. I mean, with the freeze that happened a couple weeks ago, I had a lot of fun dragging these things underneath my carport so they wouldn't die. So, that's the one bad thing about a container garden, is you got to make them mobile. And you see how some of them are on wheels and some of them aren't. So we're working on fixing that. One other thing I want to show you over here. If you've never seen a wild blackberry plant, this is what it looks like. So I'm not in the sun. Oop, almost fell. These are going to be wild blackberries all along here. I've got another plant all the way down at the end there. You can't see it because of the shade. And they're going to act as a security system for this house. And I know they work because I weeded this entire flower bed last week, and that bramble caught a hold of me and started drawing blood. So I know it works. We got these wild blackberries from my dad's pasture. So we're going to go get some more probably in a few weeks, because my dad told me they're starting to come up and the plants are looking good. Alright, well, those are all of my edible plants that I have on my homestead. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and it shows you that, you know, you don't have to have a ton of acreage to grow your own food. I mean, we're not growing much, but what we got, we're using what we got so far. Okay? So everybody stay cool. I'm gonna go inside. It's a little toasty out here, even with the breeze. So, bye.